Okay, so what's up, guys? Today is I'm super excited. Wednesday, December the 2nd. So this is our Rockstar Director and Training group call. I know we've been a little behind with the little schedule change that we had, and so just so you know, I wanted to throw that out there because I know I had just posted, but so remember we have about 6 more weeks left in the program. We do have I did change it back to every other Wednesday. So we had one today. Next Wednesday we won't get on the Zoom, but the following week we will. So just pay attention to the page and you'll know when it's time. So we are on chapter 6 this week. So I just wanted to note that. So if anybody listens to the recording, they can know that. I'm super excited to say that we have promoted 3 directors out of the 8 that are in the program. So Tiffany, Mel, and our newest director, Jenna Leslie. I'm super excited for all of y'all. And I know we have several that are jumping behind, like so close. And I forgot. I'm super excited for my promotion to star director, like all into the G, y'all. Like for real, I still can't believe it. Like I was telling y'all earlier, I'm still in shock. It's crazy how I'll be coming up on my 5-year anniversary in April. Yeah, April. Oh hey, Alma's getting on. Yay! Hey Alma. Probably can't hear me. Can you hear me? You can't hear me. Can you hear me, Alma?
Yes, I can.
I was like, can she hear me?
Now I can. Hey, Chris!
Get out of here, Chris.
We're going to the norte Saturday.
So yeah, I was saying before you got on, Alma, that just I wanted everybody to know that I posted it before, but we switched it, so it's every other Wednesday. So I don't know if y'all seen that last thing, but we hadn't been on since then. So today and the next week, no, and then the next week, yes. So we have about 6 weeks left. We are on chapter 6 in the book, but I was just congratulating I told them that out of 8 people in the program, 3 have already promoted to director. So awesome. And I know a lot of y'all are definitely hitting your numbers and your current titles, and y'all are on y'all's way. Y'all are recruiting. Y'all are growing y'all's team. So I think for the most part, everybody is really, where they're at, and they're, at a good place. So I just wanted to go over a little bit of chapter 6 and just some key things that I wanted to share with you guys, and then we'll kind of open it up for any questions you guys have or whatever. I'm gonna ask you a few questions in a minute though. So last chapter was about power prospecting, which was probably one of my favorite chapters, but this chapter I think is equally as important because last chapter I talked to you guys about the sponsoring list. Like, do you have a sponsoring list? How do you follow up with your people? We talked about all that, but this one is kind of, okay, so we talked about how do you find those people, but now you're probably wondering, what do you say to get those recruits? And I know several of you that are on the call or that are going to listen to the recorded, you guys are power recruiters. Mel, Tiffany, Linda, I mean, you guys recruit. So I know you understand the gist of this, but I think, again, always remember, more importantly, we can recruit all day, but we have to teach our team and their team to do the same. So remember that, because that's the way our teams are going to multiply much quicker than just us sponsoring them not sponsoring. So she talks about, so first of all, can anybody chime in and tell me when you have been, maybe, I mean, I don't know, when whoever you joined under, did you know anything about them? Did you connect with them somehow, some way, and something that they said to you? Or if you've ever gone to any Scentsy event and you heard another consultant speak and tell their story, that you were just wowed and you connected with that person. Has anybody, I mean, has there ever been somebody that has just shared their story and it's been so powerful that you're like, you get motivated, you get hyped? Is there anybody that follows anybody that just, that you connected with them? Anybody?
I mean, I feel like I connect with, I guess, a lot of you ladies and your stories. When I joined Scentsy, I didn't know anything about Scentsy. I mean, I knew what it was, but I was more in it just to I just wanted an extra paycheck too. So.
Gotcha. I remember your first meeting you came to. Lucy didn't come. I remember you there. That was so cool.
Yes.
But I think she talks about it in the book. She says, and I love this, and I think that it's something worth jotting down to teach and to teach to our team. She says, facts tell and stories sell. I can't tell you how many times I've heard somebody speak or I've gone to some training and I just have connected with that person and I start following them because I'm like, damn, they're amazing. That their story, I mean, says so much about them and who they are and how they are and what they want to do and what they want to be. So stories are powerful. And I think that's what recruiting comes down to. I tell my team all the time that recruiting is, you're not selling Scentsy, you're selling yourself. When you go out and you talk to somebody and you share the opportunity or you share your excitement with them, that is what draws them in to follow you, to join, to do those things that otherwise, they wouldn't do with, if they didn't know about Scentsy. I kind of did one time. I told, I don't remember who I told, but I did this little like survey and I asked so many people that I had personally sponsored, like, why did you join under me? Like, tell me what is the main reason why. And they're like, I mean, you shared so much excitement and the stories, the things that you were doing, the places that you've gone, and I just wanted to be part of it. So I think that it's super important for you to understand that you have to tell your story. And you have to get your team members to understand that. If you have someone who's struggling with recruiting, ask them, have you written down your story? And if you don't have a story, have you gone to research other people's success stories that you can share those? So that's very important.
I did want to chime in, Jessica.
Go ahead.
I noticed, ever since I got on the directors page, I've connected with like two of the directors. Her name is Debbie. She's from Alabama. I don't know her last name. It starts with a P.
Palmer.
Yeah. And ever since like I've been seeing her posts, it's like, oh my gosh, she's so motivating. She's like really out there posting every day, positive, working her business, and it's like seeing all her fundraisers and everything, like all her like tons and tons of stuff on her floor from the fundraisers. Like, oh my gosh, if she can do it, then I can do it.
Yep.
I also follow Dawn and Christina. So ever since from reunion, it's like, wow, I want to be them one day, walking on that stage and earning the shiny star award. It's like all her posts, everything. It's like, wow,
Christina's amazing. So Christina Stainbrook is a superstar director. I had the privilege of meeting her and talking to her a little bit. And we chilled out one night when we were on the cruise to where did we go? To Western Caribbean when I went on the last cruise. So it's super important for you to connect with these people. Don't be shy or embarrassed, or every time I listen to a call and I try to, and they're Scentsy related, or period, anybody, and I think, you know, I connect with them and I think they're amazing, I'll reach out to them, reach out to these people, because you know the way they help you and the things that they do, you can't pay for that training. Those things are like it's priceless. You want to make sure. Hold on 1 second. Sorry. You want to make sure that you're connecting with those people, because, like I said, stories are powerful. So she says when she works with a new distributor on creating their list and discusses who to share the business with, we also work on what to say. So she does an exercise where she has them go through their phone, their Facebook, and memory jogger to write down their list of names. I have them star their candidates, their top candidates, and tell me who they are and why they chose them. And we brainstorm on ways to approach them. One of the most meaningful things we can do in prospecting is sharing our personal story, just like I said. And she goes on to talk about how important it is, even though you may have your story, but every new team member that comes on that you bring into the business, you need to help them create their story. So I'm going to challenge you. One thing that you can do after this call is reach out to 5 frontline team members, maybe the newest people that you sponsored, and ask them, you know, do you have your story on your website? And if they don't, give them a challenge to create their story and to put it on their website. So she talks about a good format. So if you guys, and I hope each one of you on this call has your story on your website. And if you don't, I'm going to go back and check in a little bit. But if you want like a general format on what to follow on how to help someone else create their story, she has one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Who are you? Share your background, a little bit about yourself and what you do. 2, why were you looking for an opportunity? 3, how did you find this business and why did you join? 4, what results have you seen or do you hope to see? And number 5, what has excited you the most? So those are 5 key points that you can help someone else on your team create their story. You want to, I love what she says. She says, she goes on to share a story. I'm not going to share that, but when prospects hear you share their story with such conviction, like I'm going to be honest with you. When I first started, I didn't have a story. I didn't know what the heck they meant by a story. So I just kept on hearing, share your story, share your story. I'm like, I don't have a dang Scentsy story. I'm just trying to sell $3,000 in PRV so I can get a big fat check, and that's it. So I went and I followed Becca because she was the first one that I heard. I seen all this lady's success. I was like, OMG. And I started sharing her. I shared her story, where she came from, what she did, where she's at, what she's achieved, and how I was excited to get there. Literally, all those key points that I just talked about, that's what I didn't have a story, but I found someone else's success story and I shared the hell out of that. I would tell everybody about it. Even though I hadn't even met Becca before, but I knew she was out there making it happen. And that helped me because people realized, they see my excitement. They knew somebody, you know, obviously people that I met that I was talking to could validate and know that I was telling the truth. And then I was also sharing with them this success of someone that was in the business already. So make sure that you're doing that. Be bold. I like how she talks about exude energy and excitement. When you go on you know, these spring sprint, when you go to a team meeting, when you meet up with a new team member, if you're not posting that on Facebook or you're not sharing that with your friends and family that you talk to, you ain't working your business, because those are the things that people, my family probably tells me, I wish you would shut up about Scentsy already. But boo, you ain't a star director. So I'm going to keep on talking about Scentsy. And then I like how she says, don't use wimpy phrases like, oh, I hope that I'm going to do this, or I wish that I'm going to do this. Be bold and tell them, you know, I'm going to do this when I get here. You know, that's something that I learned. I'm a big person on what you what you believe will come to pass. And if you know me, when I was a star consultant, on my business card, I had director. I didn't have star consultant. I had director because I knew eventually I was going to get there. If you look at my newest card, I don't have director. I have star director. I've had it like that for almost 5 months when I got my new business cards. And guess what? I'm a star director because I choose to know and to believe that it's coming. So guess what my next cards will say? Superstar director. So be bold. You know, all your goals and your dreams, what you want, what you tell people, talk about it in the future tense. So people will know, like, this chick is not playing. So power prospecting. She talks about 1, 2, 3, let's see, 4 approaches. So many people talk about, how are you so good at recruiting? I don't know how to be good at recruiting. I don't know how to recruit people. What do I say to somebody? So she gives you 4 really good approaches, because I think every approach that she lists here talks about someone that you can reach out to. So first one, the direct approach. This is the approach that you use with someone you know. So this is the approach that I use with Alma, which is my cousin. I worked with her. She's been my cousin for my whole life. So, you know, I just said, this is the example that she gives. Hey, Debbie, it's Sarah. I'm so excited to share something with you. Do you have a minute? Do you have a minute? Great. I've been dying to tell you about this new business that's expanding in your area. You're one of the first people that I thought about sharing this with. Do you have just a few minutes? Well, me and my cousin work together, so she sat right next to me. So I said, OMG, you need to join me on this. Hello. And it was a direct approach because I knew her and I could tell her like that. And she joined. And look, almost 5 years later, she's still selling Scentsy. So that's a direct approach to someone that you already know. Number 2, indirect or referral approach. So this is probably someone that you know from maybe work, any type of professional level, or someone that you look up to, someone that you admire, or maybe just someone that you've met a few times, but you don't kick it with these people. You don't hang out. You don't work together 24/7. You don't text each other every day. These are those people. So she says, and I want you to listen to each approach that I talk about and the commonality between each one of them. So she says, hello, Susie, it's Sarah. I'm calling you for a reason today. Do you have just a few minutes? I wanted to first start by saying how much I admire you, pay them a genuine compliment. I know you've built an incredible network in Chicago, or you have an amazing job in so-and-so. I'm not sure if I've mentioned this, but I'm building my business there, and I immediately thought of you because I know how well networked and respected you are. I'm hoping that I can share more about what we're doing and who we're looking to partner with as we expand there, as well as see if this is a good fit for anyone you know in this area. I'd love to pick your brain and to get ideas on how to expand my business there. So do you have a few minutes so we can chat? So this is a similar approach to what she used with the other person, but you want to seek their credibility, their expertise. Remember, this is those people that maybe you know from work or a professional level, or just someone that you look up to and you think that, you know, they're pretty awesome. So maybe someone that you normally probably would be intimidated to reach out to because they seem like they got it all together. Those are the type of people that she talks about here. So you reach out to them by paying them a compliment and you tell them, hey, you know, I really would love to talk to you about what's going on in my Scentsy world right now. You know, we opened up in a few new markets and I'd love to sit and chat with you on, you know, what the opportunity could possibly do. And that's it. And I love how if you listen to both approaches that I gave you and the 2 that are coming, she never once says, OMG, it's $99 to join. Do you want me to give you what you'll get in your kit? Do you want me to tell you you have to try to reach $500 in the first 15 days? No. Don't tell them all that. It's too much. It's what they call the verbal vomit. Don't tell them so much that they're like, this chick is out of her mind. She's crazy. I don't know if I want to do this. So it's basically connecting with them, building a rapport with them, building a relationship, getting to know who they are. So you kind of got to know somewhat about this person in these manners, these first two manners of approaching them. So we had number one, the direct approach, someone that you know that you kick it with, that maybe your family or a friend. Number two, indirect approach, someone that you kind of know but you don't really see on a daily basis and you may not really hang out. Number three, lifestyle prospecting approach. So these are the people that you're in Walmart and you tell the cashier, hey, can I give you the sample? Or you're in Starbucks and you say, hey, you know, you see some lady sitting next to you that you never seen in your life, but she's sipping on coffee by herself, and then you start to try to make a conversation with her. So what do you say when you're out and about and you strike up a conversation? Make it all about the other person. Ask them a lot of questions like you're interviewing them. So she always uses this one where she talks about where are you from, you know, this will lead you into what I like to call your professional pickup line. Keep conversing and asking questions back and forth like a ping pong table, and eventually say how nice it was to meet them. Then go into your professional pickup line, personalizing the conversation. She said, do you have a card? Can I get your email and your number? So basically, you had a few words back and forth. You had a small talk. You asked them about them. They asked you about you. You asked them what they do. They told you. You asked them how many kids they had, or you saw them with their kids and you said, OMG, you know, your kid's so cute. Do they go to the same school? So these few questions are the things that you just, you know, started talking to someone, you know, Debbie from the Walmart line. So earlier, and then she says, can I get your email and your number? Earlier you mentioned you were from blank city. My business is expanding in that area, and I'd like to give you a call and just take a few minutes to tell you what we're doing in that area. Pick your brain on a few things. I've enjoyed talking to you, and I'd love to reconnect with you and see how you can help out. Okay, again, commonality. She didn't say the starter kit was $99. She did not say you have to reach $500 for 15 days. You have to place a $150 order within 1 month in the first 3 months. She said none of that. She connected with the person. She asked them for their contact information, and she said, I'd love to chat with you later. We don't even have to talk right now, but I'd love to follow up with you, because that gives that person an open end for you to tell them, I want to call you back. And so you have to look at those commonalities. Number 4, which this is probably one that several of us use because we make samples. So this is the sample pack approach. So if your company offers samples, try using a sample pack approach. And when I read this, I thought of Tiffany because she uses her little bags that she hangs everywhere. Look for ways to engage in conversation. Give someone a compliment. Ask them a lot of questions, just like the other approaches. Do you love your job? Your kids are cute. Where'd you go to school? Talk to them. I love chatting with you today. I would love to leave you with this gift. Tell them more about what you're giving them. And I promise you, if you promise me that you'll try it, I promise that I'll follow up with you. Get their name, their number, tell them what time you'll call them, write it down on a card, leave it with them. When you follow up, say, how'd you love the product? But I want you to listen to something here. And this is the main commonality that I want it to be the light bulb for you. When she says, before I tell you more about the product, I would love to tell you why I'm excited about my business. Okay, so many people, and it's our big old banner on our group page. And I've told y'all time and time and time again, and this is something that you have to be teaching your team, to lead with the opportunity, default on the product. Don't go in thinking about a sale and talking about, oh, well, did you like that sample? Well, we have 5 bars and you get 1 free. You're going in with the sale. Go in leading with the opportunity. Tell them why you love what you do. Tell them why you love Scentsy. Tell them why you're doing so amazing at this business. Don't start with the product. Lead with the opportunity, default on the product. So that is the commonality that I wanted you to understand, is that every single approach that she talks to about her business, she leads with the opportunity. She does not lead with the product. She does not lead with trying to book a party. All of that will come because eventually, if they're not excited about the business opportunity, they're going to love the product. And then you start them on the circle. As we all know, you start off with sharing the product. They love it. They come back for more. They're wasting so much money on it. They eventually want to get it free and half price and have a party. And eventually they said, this chick's making too much money off of me. Why don't I join? So commonality is, and I want you guys to write this down if you have a pen, lead with your opportunity, default on your product. That is what you need to be teaching your team. If you're struggling and you're saying, I can recruit, but my team can't seem to recruit. We can't seem to get 4 or 5 people a month consistently to join. Guess what? Your team doesn't get the big picture. Your team is not understanding that they need to lead with the opportunity and default on the product. They're leading with the product and leaving it on the table. So you have to get your team to understand this. Let's see. Then she goes into, I'm not going to go into all of that because it's probably for another call. But she talks about once you get to that point and you follow up with them, understand that the follow-up is the most important part. You could talk to them right then and there. You can give them a sample. You can give them a catalog. They can tell you, oh my gosh, I really would love this opportunity. I think this is something that I really love. But guess what? If it stops there and you never do anything with that drawing slip that you get with their name, guess what? All that was for nothing. Follow-up is key. And the fortune is in the follow-up. If you're not following up with these people, if you don't have your sponsoring list down like I told you, then you're going to forget about calling this person back and you're not going to call them back. And everything that you just did is wasted energy and wasted work. So that is pretty much everything I wanted to cover. I wanted to stress to you in that book, because I think everybody has this book. So you need to understand that if you look at those 4 approaches and you really read them and you really take some notes, that you will not struggle with understanding that so many people get caught up on, I can't recruit. But they're going into recruiting at each person with the same approach. You can't do that. Each person is different. Every person wants something different out of this Scentsy opportunity or direct sales opportunity, whether you're in Scentsy or any other network marketing business. Everybody wants something different. I wanted money. Some other people may want just social interaction. Some other people want just free trips. So you have to know what it is that you want. And you have to know what it is that other person wants, because that's how you go to approach that person when it comes to sharing the opportunity with them. I think that's about all that I had. If any of you or any other directors on the call have anything else to share, or you want to piggyback or just reinforce maybe something that I said to you right now, you've already experienced and you've been through, and you can share that opportunity with everybody else that's on the call or that's going to listen to recorded, so they not only hear it from me, but they hear it from you guys. Or even if you're not a director, anybody on the call, if you can connect with any person that you've actually recruited that has fit any one of those approaches and you want to share, now's your time. Anybody?
I want to say that it's Joanna. Whenever I have expressed my enthusiasm for Scentsy and how much it's helped me, it has, encouraged others to want to join on. And that's helped me a lot. I guess just talking about it, and I guess maybe them hearing the excitement in my voice, or, just the excitement of me just even talking about Scentsy, encourages them or gives them, hope, or, or for them, like the drive to want to do it for themselves as well.
Exactly. And I'm glad that you said that, because I tell you, probably some of my best times of recruiting are usually during the time that and it works out perfect, because we usually go to convention at the end of July, the beginning of August. That's usually how it's always been. Every time I go to convention, I blow up my Facebook. I blow it up. Like, I don't care. Unfriend me. I don't care. I blow it up. Everything. Pictures, selfies. I mean, I'd blow Facebook up. But I promise you, I never leave from convention without 3 to 5 people inboxing me without me doing anything or reaching out to anybody, asking me, oh my gosh, I think I want to know more about what, finally about what this Scentsy thing is, because you're having too much fun. So excitement is like first and foremost the biggest thing. You want to document everything. And when I mean document everything, I mean, I'm a big social media person. I YouTube a lot. I video a lot. I post on Facebook, on Instagram. I do a lot of that. But it's helped me because I've grown a lot of my team like that. Because if people don't see what you're doing, your business is closed. If they're not listening to the things that you're achieving, they don't know that you're really doing this as a business. They just think you're collecting orders and that's it. People can tell you from going on 5 years, they know I'm not going anywhere. That Scentsy eventually will be my full-time job. That I will travel the world for free most of the time, and I'm gonna be working from home. People know that because I've already established my credibility with them. They know that I'm this crazy Scentsy girl that somehow, some way is gonna work at home and travel. So, but if I would not share that with people and I wouldn't post like a mad woman on Facebook, on Pinterest, on YouTube, if I didn't document all that, people wouldn't know what I was doing. And that's why it's so important. And I tell you this because many of you already do this. And the directors that are on, everybody on here, because everybody that's on here has 6 or more people in their team. And when your teammates are promoting, you need to be tagging them and congratulating them and letting not just them know, but letting other people know that your team is out there making it happen and they need to be a part of that. When, they place an order, you need to be posting and tagging people. When they do anything, I will tell you time and time again, and this is something that I've learned, not just in Scentsy, but I've also learned in the real world. Work that is recognized is repeated all the time. When you don't recognize somebody, and they may do it again, they may not. But when you express that and you recognize people for what they're doing, even the smallest of things, it'll be repeated. It's just the way it works. So, if I can tell you what I wanted to give you today is, we talked about how to prospect, how to look for people that possibly want to join. But okay, let's say you have 10 people on your sponsoring list, but you're like, well, how the hell do I talk to these people? What do I tell these people? Well, these 4 approaches, if you look at them and you read them, you should not have any problem reaching out to people, and you should not have any problem training a new team member on how to reach out to people, because it's right there. It's easy. I mean, if you, and this is something, if you're writing notes down, I want you to write this down, and I want you to share it with your team and teach it to your team and teach it over and over to yourself. Because even me, sometimes I get connected to the emotion, and you have to understand and you have to learn and you have to teach your team that as long as you're doing everything in your power that you can do, you have to let go of what you can't control. And what you cannot control is the outcome. You can invite them. You can tell them about the opportunity. You can bring them to your opportunity call. You can bring them to your house to talk to them about the opportunity face to face. But guess what? You cannot control what that person is going to say, yes or no. You can't. The only thing you can do is keep on sharing that opportunity and keep on sharing that opportunity and keep on sharing that opportunity. Do not get connected or caught up with, damn, I just told her all this and I've already met with this person and I've talked to 2 people this past month and no one has joined. That doesn't matter. It's a numbers game. You have to keep on talking. You have to keep on sharing. You got to keep on opening your mouth. You got to keep on telling that new person about this amazing opportunity that you've been given and you want to share with them. So just remember that disconnect yourself with the emotion and the outcome, because it doesn't matter. As long as you're sharing, that's all you need to do. And the rest is going to eventually come. It will come. It may not come in your timing, but if you keep on doing what you're supposed to, it's going to come. And the more you do of it, the quicker it's going to come. So, with that being said, does anybody have any questions about what we talked about? Anything? It don't have to be about today. It can be about anything.
I think what you just said also just kind of goes with even once you've recruited the person.
Yes.
And
So true.
yeah, I had a girl on my team that went out of town, and I texted her and I was like, hey, I hope you take some Scentsy with you, you know, share your Scentsy. She went out of the state. And she's like, well, I promised my family I'd give them 100% of my time. I was going to bring Scentsy, but then she said that she was going to devote all her time to her family. And I just kind of left it at that. I did want to say, you know, just because you're taking Scentsy with you doesn't mean that you're taking time away from your family, because you can just leave it here and there. But, you know, I just kind of, I stopped myself from saying that because I didn't want her to feel like I was just being
pressuring her,
like pushing her. But then she saw a picture of mine when because I've been in Mexico for the past 2 weeks, and I had a shirt on that, you know, I had my Scentsy shirt on because Scentsy goes everywhere with me. And she's like, I see you with your Scentsy on. I'm like, yep, that's my job. So I'll take it wherever I'm at. You know, I mean, I don't have to put it in everybody's face, but they'll see it somehow or another.
You know, that's a really good thing that you brought up, because I think as leaders, it is our responsibility to every new person that comes, obviously everybody that joins under us, right? So the goal is that you train them so well that you know they're going to train their front lines well. Because what happens is, let's say you have someone join, you somewhat train them, or you don't really reach out to them, and you kind of let them go on their own. And, you know, well, they end up stumbling upon somebody that wants to join, and, well, they had the same treatment, so they go on and, you know, do the same thing. And you create a cycle, and that becomes the culture of your team, where, you know, it kind of just stays like that. So I think that it's very important as leaders for us to, and this is something that I really wanted to share with you guys today apart from this, and this goes hand in hand, because it's important for you, and now listen to what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you have to go out today, get a new number, start a call, or that you have to go out today and start a team page. I'm not saying that. But what I want you to understand is that as you don't have to be a director to start acting like a director. When I was a lead consultant, I told Lucy, I want to do a call. I did not know what I was doing, but I had heard, and I had been on so many calls, you want to be a director, you act like a director. So I said, nobody was doing a call. I mean, Becca was doing a call, but nobody else in my upline was doing a call. So I was like, well, I want to do a call. You know, I have 4 or 5 people already on my team. I want to get with them. I want to, you know, I want to create that team culture. I see what Becca's doing, and I want to duplicate that. So I went out and got my number. And I think it's super important that I will tell you that those little things, Joanna, those little things, sometimes we forget, or we think that people know but they really don't. You know, just like that girl said, and I'm not saying.
Yeah, wait. You know, it's nasty. It's a rock.
I'm not
Hello?
saying that. I'm not saying that maybe you didn't tell her. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is so many people in this business fail because they think that they have to do the unthinkable. But if you teach your new team members how to put Scentsy into their life and they don't have to reverse that, that's where the success comes. So when I think it's really important for every new team member, and this is something that I started doing a while, when I learned it, is that I tell every new team member, okay, what is it that you want out of Scentsy? What do you want? Do you want $200? Do you want $1,000? Do you want $500? Do you need gas? Do you need groceries? Or do you just want this as a hobby? I tell them that before they sign up, because I want to know how to help them fit Scentsy around their time. I find out what they're doing for their day job, how they do it, and then I tell them, okay, look, I want you to be successful, but you got to understand that you have to fit the time in somehow, some way. And in the beginning, I didn't do that because I didn't know, but I'll tell you, after recruiting over 5 years, you start understanding that you want to be upfront with these people because you don't want to waste your time and you don't want to waste their time. And you want to give them these little tidbits early on so they know what to expect. They know what you're expecting out of them. And most of the time, you're going to have those that you're going to see immediately are going to take advantage of that, and they're going to roll and they're going to rock it out. And then you're going to kind of see those that won't. And that will help you in determining how much energy you put into that person. So when I know it's kind of off topic, but when you said that, it just kind of reminded me that we don't know what we don't know. That person, I get very caught up in like, oh my gosh, they should have already known that. But in actuality, if you've never been in direct sales and you really don't know how to fit Scentsy into your world, then, like I do now 5 years later, it's kind of hard for someone to, they don't know how to go on a family vacation and still have Scentsy samples in their pocket or in their purse. You know what I mean? They don't know, like, like me, when I go to the water park, everybody's looking at me crazy because we only have one small little purse to take what we need to. But guess what's going in that purse? A room spray and some samples, because that's just the way I roll. There is no other. So, but I guess what I'm saying is we just don't know that. So I think it's really important that those are, some key things just to remember when you have new team members that join.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else?
Jessica, I had a question about the, we don't have to have 10,000.
Yes.
Earlier, y'all were talking about the 2,000 and the 10,000 as TWV.
Yes. Okay. So, so for director, you do have to have group wholesale volume has to be 10,000. For you, because you don't have a director under you, you don't have to worry about your team wholesale volume. As long as you hit those 10,000 in group, you're good. But let's say like Tiffany has you as a director. So now that she has you as a director, your 10,000 is counted into her 10,000, right? So I think you have, I don't know the last numbers, but a few hours before the end of the night, or maybe about, midday, what sometime that day, I remember you were at probably 9,000 something, and Tiffany was like at 10,000 something. So your 9 counts in her 10 something, but because you are a frontline director of hers, she not only has to have that 10,000 in group, she has to have 2,000 in team. And team is everybody else that's not directly under you. So you, Linda, all of Linda's people, those are now your team, but they're still in Tiffany's group. So it counts, all that, your numbers count towards her group wholesale volume. But when it comes to everybody else that Tiffany has recruited and that they have recruited, but not you and your whole downline, then those people have to make 2,000 in team wholesale volume.
Oh, okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
But like you, since you don't have any, you don't have a director, but pretty soon you will have a director. So once Linda hits director, which I know it's coming, again, let's say Linda hits director, she makes 10,000 group wholesale volume, right? So that's counted in yours. So you're going to hit your group numbers automatically if she hits it. But there's a possibility that you could not hit director if your team doesn't make those 2,000.
Right.
Make sense?
And remember, she detaches away from you too, right, Jessica?
Yeah. So she basically, she branches off. So Linda and all of her people then branch off, and then you'll see on your workstation, you have two different numbers. You have a group number and you have a team number. So you have like, I think like right now, before Jenna hit director, I had 162 people on my team, and I had like 90 something I had 162 in my group. And then because Tiffany was my only director, I had like 90 something that were on my team. Those are all my people other than Tiffany and you, because you are a director also in the organization. So now that each one of y'all has branched off, you, Tiffany, and Jenna, my team numbers get subtracted from each one of y'all. So I think now after we had 12 drop, so I think I have 151 in my group. And then I still, which is pretty good, having 3 that have branched off, I have 74 on my team. So those 74 as a star director, they have to hit 6,000 instead of 2,000. So
Okay.
that's kind of how that works.
But if I hit 2,000 myself,
Then
that's
yeah, see, that's the good thing. Because if you, let's say you hit 2,000, you can pretty much always guarantee you're going to hit your numbers.
so
Because,
that should be my goal.
yeah, because your what is 2,000 in TWV? You got to take away the, you'll only be very, very little away from your team hitting that 2,000 mark. So 2,000. Crap. So, yeah, so you would just need $500. Somebody from your team, between the rest of your team, would have to would have to make up that 500, because your 2,000 would equal 1,500 in GWV. So then you would need, it'd be very minimal that, and then, you'd get that with 3 active frontline. So you're pretty much guaranteeing your numbers as long as you hit 2,000. But that's why it's important that so many people think that after you hit director that, or you hit star director, you don't have to recruit. But it's totally not so, because after all those directors start branching off, you still have your team numbers you have to hit along with your group numbers. And the bigger your team is, the easier it is to hit those numbers. The smaller your team is, the harder it is. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm wearing pajamas.
So yeah.
Okay. I understand now. That's why I was freaking out, because I thought that we had to have the 10,000 every time after you hit director. And I was freaking out because I didn't have that yet. And I kept hearing people talking about getting disqualified or whatever it's called on the
Yeah.
director page. And I thought, okay, so when does that happen?
Yeah. Like the thing is with that is that you let's say like the first month you hit 10,000 or you make your numbers, which you hit 10,000. But the next month you don't hit the 10,000. You still are a director. You don't get paid at director title. You always get paid at what title you achieve that month. But all right, bye Dad. I'll call you later. But you don't you get paid at whatever title, right? That you achieve that month. But every month it does start over. So you have to reach those numbers consistently every month. But if you miss one month, you don't get demoted. Now, after 3 months of not hitting your director numbers, you'll go into what's called director Q. And what that means is that you go into, I mean, it's crazy, but it's called director Q, which means that you haven't hit your numbers in 3 months. And then if you go another 3 months with not hitting your numbers, you'll be demoted to superstar consultant.
Okay.
So yeah, that's how that works. But we ain't gonna go there. We're gonna grow those teeth, so we ain't even gonna think about that. I've never been demoted to superstar consultant, and I've never been in direct Q. So and the reason I say that is the only reason that hasn't happened is because I grew my front line strong. That's why Orville always says, he uses the analogy, I don't know if I've ever shared this with you, but it's super important because when I learned this early on, it made sense. He uses the analogy that you want to build your team like an airplane. So the airplane is your whole group, but you want to build your front line as the wings. So you want that to be as strong as possible because that's what's going to sustain your group is your front line, your team. Because again, as you climb up the ladder, you start having directors that branch off and then your team gets smaller and smaller because they're branching off in their numbers. But that's why it's so important that you teach your front line. That's why they say, teach your front line to be strong because you need those front line to be strong. You need them to be strong recruiters because they're going to grow that team with you. And so when they do branch off, you still have a bunch of people that are still on your team. That not everybody's leaving because you stop recruiting. And then that's how people don't hit their numbers consistently. That's how people miss promotions. And that's how people sometimes get demoted because they hit them the numbers one time and they can't sustain those numbers. So.
Boy, I'm nervous. I'm scared.
No, but we just gotta just what I really, really want to focus on, and I think all of us should focus on that, is just teaching our teams to recruit, teaching them to see the big picture, teaching them to understand why it's important to always stay recruiting and to always remember to detach themselves from the outcome of it. Because again, like I always say, the 33% rule, 33% are coming in, 33% are staying, and 33% are coming in, 33% are working, and 33% are leaving. It's just how it is, just the way our business is. You're going to have people that are staying, people that are rocking it out, and people that are leaving. So you have to consistently bring those people in to withstand that circle. So that's pretty much the cycle. So anybody else have anything else they want to share or they want questions on? No? Cool. Because I'm hungry. I haven't ate, I'm starving. I'd probably say, and I know I'm so behind. I'm sorry. What I'm going to try, I'm going to go eat. grab something to eat, and I'm gonna try to come back and I'm gonna make some videos. I don't work tomorrow because my son has a field trip, so I'm gonna stay up tonight late working. So I will announce the winner of the planner tonight. I'll make a quick video, and then I'll announce the winner of the diffuser for our challenge from last month. And I'm thinking I'm gonna put out another challenge today, so tonight if I have time, but if not, tomorrow. So because I will be off tomorrow, so I'm gonna in the middle of going to a field trip and then coming back, I'm gonna be working Scentsy all day. So yeah, with that being said, I am so freaking pumped. I'm so excited. Hitting star director, like you guys have no idea. Going on my 5th year, I'm like, oh my gosh, it was time. It was time.
How close are you earning the trip?
I'm 5,000 points away.
Wow.
So I think I'm pushing for it. I just gotta up this damn PRV. Gosh, y'all know how I struggle with that. But but I already have $200, $205 in PRV, so I'm super excited. Day 2, I'm like, what? So I'm working on that. I'm so close. Like, I have to at least earn it for Nashville. I don't know if I'll go to Disney without my kids, but from what I'm hearing, Orville can do anything. So if buy-ins are super cheap, then I have to insure my spot so I can even think about bringing my kids. Because if I don't have my spot, I ain't gonna be able to get them in. So I'm pushing for my spot. Even if I don't go to Disney, I'll have I'll have Nashville paid. So that's your what?
That's my helper. All into Empire right now, but we were at Starbucks earlier because I told him just to stay home because he had like a cough and stuff. My oldest didn't want to stay home. I was like, okay, well, fine. I was like, I give you a free day. You want to go to school? Bye. So he stayed home with me when we went to Starbucks because we don't have internet. So we went to Starbucks and we were there trying to like log on to the workstation and work. And I was trying to calculate how many points I have and see what all I could do about it, you know? Mm-hmm. And I was like, do you really want to go to Disney World? Let's go to Disney World. And he was like, I was like, okay, well, we need to hustle, you know? We need to do this and we need to do that. So
that's
he's
awesome. That's awesome. I'm excited. We got 2 more months. I know Mel, that's in the bag. I know it is. How many points do you have, Mel?
17.
What? That's a done deal. So exciting.
Y'all said 18 or 19?
19.
Okay. And it's did y'all say that it is 500 points if the people that go to certified?
Yes.
Is it? I don't
500 points. 500 points if they hit certified, yes.
Okay.
And then I know you get 200 if they become active.
For the first time, right?
Yeah. And they stay active until the 31st of January. So I don't know how that works because I had a girl sign up last month, but her 15th day is up this month on Friday, actually. So I don't know, like, if that month counted for November or, like, how the month ends. You know what I mean? Since she started in the middle of the month and then she won't end her first month until, this month? Sometime this month. So I don't know how that works.
You know, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I am usually the one that is, like, on point with trip points. Like, I can tell you 3 ways off the top of my head how to earn the trip. But because there's been so many changes with these point system, in the beginning they told us we were going to get some points, and then they said they couldn't, and then they took it back, and then they said something. So it's kind of thrown me off a little bit. Yeah. So I don't want to, I don't know. I really don't know. I just know that in my mind, the only way I'm really going to hit it is if I up my PRV. That's going to really be the only way. Unless for some miracle, Orville comes out. And I will tell you back when they had Disney World the last time, to my understanding, the last month before, they gave everybody 5,000 extra points. Now, I don't know why, or if it was just like they didn't have as many people that had potentially earned it by then, or I don't know. And I'm gonna be totally honest with you that it is harder this year. It sucks because you don't get any frontline promotions. Every other trip that I've earned has been, I'm a big recruiter and a big team builder. I'm not a big PRV sales person, you know, and I always earn my trips off of my frontline promotion. And think about it. Every other incentive trip, if you promote a director, it's 5,000 points. I've promoted 2 directors. That would have been 10,000 points right there. And I've promoted 2 star consultants. I've promoted 3 leads. I mean, I would have already earned it for 2. So, you know, it's kind of a, but I mean, I guess it kind of pushes me to do more PRV. Like, it's going to push me. I'm going to have to, or else I'm not going to earn it. So, yeah. I mean, it is what it is, but I'm going to roll with it regardless. But, yeah, so we'll see what happens, but I'm still running. I hope so.
I'm about to throw some football pots out there. I need 20 people to do like 200. That'll put me, or at least 300. You know, 20 parties at 300. That's 7,000 points right there. That's $7,000.
We got to do something. But yeah, so I mean, I know, Mel, I'm more than sure that's in the bag. Tiff, me and you gotta, and whoever else is on that is super close, we gotta make
I'm about to do a bake sale the next 3 Sundays in a row and see what I can come up with. You know, lure them in.
Yep, I hear you.
Brownies and cookies, girl.
Come on over and smell these scents. Smell this baked pie.
And what is it? Pecan pies. And I'm not saying what I'm putting out for my bake sale. They have to come. I'm just saying I'm doing a bake sale. If you like to come over, here's the address, you know?
Come on over.
I baked some brownies today and they were so good. They were delicious.
Food. But yeah, so I promise you guys I will do the planner drawing and I will do the diffuser drawing when I come back after I eat. But yeah, so get out there, push your teams, connect with your front line, get them stronger in recruiting, get them to understand or see the big picture. Even if you have to get on a 3-way call with 2 or 3 or 4 of your front line, do it. Freeconferencecalling.com is free. You can create a number, have everybody call in, or, you know, I know it's kind of hard for you to call one person and somebody else 3-way and somebody else 3-way. Get you a freeconferencingcall.com number and, you know, say, hey, you know, let's all have a power hour, you know, 30 minutes or 45 minutes on, you know, what you're struggling with, what you're not. You know, use those free things that are out there to try, or, you know, create a Zoom account. Do it like this if you want to. It's free for, you know, 40 minutes. That's all you need. 20, 30 minutes, you know, tops, just to sit and chat with somebody, you know, in a platform like this for them to tell you what they're struggling with, what they're doing great, and 3 or 4 or 5 people on the line in a more intimate setting. And, you know, you can talk to them, see what they're struggling with, what they're excelling with, and that way the other people that are on can also learn from them. So, you know, build that front line and make it strong, because that's the only way your team is going to grow faster. So yeah. So I'm going to eat because I'm starving, but I think we had a great call. So I would say challenge, reach out to 5 of your team members somehow, some way, connect with them, tell them where they are, what they want out of their business, what are they expecting. And this is the perfect time because we're about to come up on a new year. People always setting new goals, setting new things they want to do for the new year. You know, get them excited, get them motivated, get them wanting to look at the big picture of things. You know, how long have you been with Scentsy? What is it you're trying to do? How much are you trying to earn a month? What is it that you want out of this business? Because if they're, you know, just kind of blowing in the wind, you know, they kind of don't have a plan. They don't have anything mapped out. You know, now's the time to do that. So remember, no call next week, no Zoom, but the week after we will have a call. Well, let me see this real quick because I know we're coming around Christmas time, and I don't want to tell y'all, oh, okay, we're gonna have a call, and then so today is the 2nd, so we're not gonna have one. No, we'll still have one the 16th. So 16th, December 16th, and then the 30th. Oh, that we probably won't have one that day. No, New Year's Eve is the 31st, so we can have one on the 30th. I ain't gonna be doing none. So the 16th. So back here on the 16th, and watch for the drawing for the planner, and go out and make your frontline strong. Alrighty, y'all.
Got it.
All right. Peace. I'll see y'all later.
Bye.
Peace, y'all.